Okay, good evening YouTube and welcome to episode 27 of the FPL Family. My name is Lee, this is Sam, and we have got a lot to cover in this video.
Don't
to
we
be fair,
always?
we've got to talk about the last 2 or 3 days where we've been looking at the Premier League fixtures, and we've got to review game week 17. We're going to do that as quickly as we can because we want to talk about the upcoming game week 18. We want to do a preview for you guys of game week 18. We want to look ahead to transfers, what we might be doing with Morata, Richarlison. I don't know about you, my team is a bit of a mess at the minute, lots of injuries. We're going to talk about captains, we're going to talk about Jammy picks, talking about radar. We've got to talk about Okazaki and the fact that he's an absolute legend and back on the radar. And if we've got time, I don't know, we might talk about the league and all sorts. So plenty to cover. So where do you want to start? Go on, as usual.
Let's start with my green arrows.
As usual, you've planned everything out and I haven't. That is an absolutely great place to start because you had an absolutely phenomenal game week. Talk us through it.
Yeah, really tough with my game week this week. So I got 64.
That is nice.
So that sees me through the first round of the Cup for the first time in, I cannot remember.
You always seem to go out first round. So yeah, good effort.
So
okay, cool.
I'm thrilled with that.
Starmen.
Well, David Silva.
Yeah.
Kudos to David. I eat humble pie for getting rid of him last week, and I got him back in and absolutely got me a brace, lovely.
Fair play to you, to be fair, because you got rid of him for Ramsey, and you were just like, oh, it feels so wrong to take Ramsey out and get Silva back, but you were like, all right, I'll swallow it, I'll do it, and absolutely the right thing to do. Absolutely right thing to do.
I think sometimes that you just have to swallow your pride and kind of go, yeah, all right, it's backfired on me a wee bit. But,
made a bit of a mistake, but
I'll go back on it and I'll sort it out. So yeah, that was good.
That was head, not heart. Very good, very impressed.
Foster 10. Sorry about that.
Do you know what? I played Foster as well, simply because.
Well, Elliot doesn't play anymore, so I had to play Foster.
Yeah, right, yeah. So I was kind of obviously disappointed with the result, but seeing Foster get 10 FPL points was a little bit of a silver lining on my otherwise dark cloud over Anfield. Yeah.
Jones back with 8, 2 bonus points and a clean sheet. That was
good,
nice.
Right? Good.
Otamendi 6 again.
Otamendi returning again.
Both Alonso and Richarlison getting me assists, so 6 each. So yeah, decent game week all round. Happy days.
Very good. 64 then, yeah?
64,
very good. So I got
green arrows everywhere.
Very good. So I got 53, which I was actually pretty happy with, and then I saw your score and I was like, OMG.
We're actually level on points now.
What? Overall, exactly the same?
Yeah.
Oh, blimey, okay, right, cool.
This game week becomes more exciting.
Look how happy you are with your 64. So I got 53. I did take a hit, so really I got 49, but 53 score for the game week. So my transfer was Kevin De Bruyne in, which I didn't really talk about on the last vlog. And I kind of looked at it and I thought, I've got to do something about Ramsey. I thought Ramsey to Silva looks like the sensible thing to do. There's a lot of people digging me out on Twitter going, just copying Sam again, which I don't know where this is coming from, right?
Because you copy me.
This is ridiculous. So I don't. But anyway, putting that aside, I knew that you'd be digging me out if I got Silva as well. So in the end, I thought I'll go differential and go KDB. Just because I had the money sitting there and I was like, I don't want to have it sitting in my bank. Kind of worked, got a goal, bit of a fluky goal. I don't know if you saw it, direct from a free kick that kind of went straight in. Obviously, I'll take that. But given that Silva popped up with 2 goals and now looks like, the route into the Man City midfield, bit gutted I didn't put him in. But nevertheless, KDB got a goal, reasonably happy with that. Obviously, Foster and Jones come in as well. My man John Joe Kenny got a clean sheet, so Everton looking really on the ups, especially defensively. But we've got to talk about Rooney later as well, right? So yeah, overall, pretty good week. I think a little green arrow for me and a pretty big one for you, right?
Yeah,
happy days. All right.
Okay, let's get into the game week then.
You want to just talk about the league quickly before we do that?
Oh, you want to do the league now? Yeah, okay,
let's have a little look, because I know that I had a look at it earlier. I know that Jamal is still sitting pretty at the top of the league, but let's have a look at who else is there. Bear with me 2 seconds while I find it.
Nothing for Hazard again, Jamal. Yeah.
Nothing for Hazard, yeah. What are we doing about Hazard?
Since he's told me I need to get him, he's done nothing for 2 weeks.
So Jamal's sitting pretty, 1,050 points, which is pretty damn good.
That is really good.
43 points this game week, so okay, not bad. Any standouts for him? He's got Clavan, He's got Clavan. I mean, it's working for him, right? Got a 6. Sterling 9, but outside of that, nothing too much to shout about. D-Boy 56, good game week for him. Only 2 points now behind Jamal, so he's really closed the gap.
Yeah,
really closed the gap.
A bigger gap than that before.
So fair play to D-Boy there. Deshwell again, still in the mix.
Always there.
45 points for Boys United. Charlie Bolton actually dropped a little place there, so he's up into 4th now, or down into 4th I should say, 46 points for the game week. And then Salah Mohammed, America's finest, in at number 5 on 49 points, 1,021. So still actually a bit of a gap between Jamal, D-Boy, and then like a 20-point gap until you get to Deshwell and Charlie. So it's looking like a bit of a, maybe becoming a bit of a 2-horse race, but this is FPL.
I don't know,
anything can happen in
20 points
FPL,
is
right?
nothing. If you triple captain the right captain,
that'll
be gone.
Yeah, and we're starting to see double game weeks
week coming
through.
up. Triple captain Kane on a double game week, and you could be laughing.
And we've got the FA Cup coming up, and if January goes the same way as we've had here recently, and there's a ton of snow, then you're going to get cancellations, double game weeks. Long time to go yet. Long time to go. Plenty of time for us all to catch Jamal and D-Boy, right? Whether we're going to ever catch Jamal and D-Boy.
You speak for yourself. I'm on a roll.
You are actually on a brilliant roll. To be fair, you've got Jamal on your sights. You're coming for him.
I don't know about that, but I'll try.
Nice.
Okay, well let's get into the game week then. I would like to start with Okazaki. And
of course you would. Yeah, absolutely. Of course you would. Yeah.
Thrilled.
A fan favourite, Okazaki, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a Sam favourite, certainly.
So how are we going to do this? We'll have a quick look at what we've just seen, but let's get into the preview for the next game week.
Let's just pick out a couple of star players or a couple of players from
the headlines.
From that
let's see the headlines.
Week.
Go on in from what we've just seen.
Yeah, so Leicester beating Saints 4-1. I didn't really see that coming on the back of Southampton's result.
Was that
weekend.
at Saints as well? I mean, that's a really poor result for them.
The Leicester fans, I don't know if you saw because you were out last night, Leicester fans were absolutely rinsing the Saints fans for saying that Pure was boring and all of this.
Oh, the Pure thing, yeah.
And it was all kicking off. It was hilarious. So that, obviously...
Mahrez looking good again.
Mahrez and Okazaki from that one. Man City, obviously another big win for them. That makes them... 15 games now. We'll beat you on Saturday.
Is it Spurs City of the weekend?
Yeah, we're going to end the run. Mark my words.
I was going to say, is it at Spurs or is it at City? I don't know if that makes a difference, to be honest.
It's at City.
It might actually work better for you.
Works in my favour. Harry Kane away.
I can't see anyone, even you guys, beating them, I'll be honest. But what's that, 15 now?
15 now. Yep.
Oh man, I think I read a tweet earlier that said something like, in the Arsenal Invincible season, at this stage, after 17 games, they had something like, I don't know, 30-something points, and then another season where Chelsea dominated after 17 games, they had 30-something points. I don't know what City are on, but it's like well in the 40s, isn't it?
It's the statistics that say like Arsenal are closer to Swansea in the bottom of the league than they are to Man City at the top of the league. Hilarious.
Silly.
Arsenal dropping points at West Ham. Worst league.
And I tell you what, Chicharito in almost the last kick of the game. Oh, I thought it was in as well.
He was celebrating, wasn't he?
He was off, underside of the bar. We're all looking at the ref to see whether the goal line technology is calling it. But
and I read a stat that said that in the 15 games before the last two, West Ham had conceded 32 goals. They just played Chelsea and West Ham and kept 2 back-to-back clean sheets.
Just got Chelsea and Arsenal.
Sorry.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
unbelievable, the change in them under Moyes.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking all right, isn't it? And I mean, Arsenal, from what I saw, really dominated that game. But
did.
Absolutely could have lost it in the last minute. Any West Ham defenders you're thinking about? I think you've got to look at them with the double game week coming up, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think
probably
it's certainly worth a look. But then you've got a missed game week. So I think, yes, you've got to look at them, but maybe let's look at them after the blank week that they've got coming up.
And I think for me it would be a straight pick between Masuoku, sorry, I got his name wrong last vlog, didn't I? Masuoku, who actually looks as if he's getting in very dangerous positions, or Ogbonna, I guess, if you want to go a little bit less maverick, or indeed Adrian in goal. Let's see. He come out, didn't he, and said that he's going to give Joe Hart game time between now and the end of the season, but I've got a feeling he's going to stick with Adrian in the short term.
Yeah, but game time, that doesn't mean league, does it?
No, indeed. So let's talk about West Ham potential transfers.
West Ham will come to them in the next game. Quick mention for Everton, racking up the points again.
Looking good, aren't they? Looking good. What's that? 3 wins and a draw in the last 4 since Allardyce has come along. Defensively, look far more solid. Very happy to own John Joe Kenny. Very happy to own Dominic Calvert-Lewin as well at the moment. And I think they've got a really nice fixture coming up this weekend, haven't they?
Home to Swansea.
Swansea, I think,
we'll get to that.
I look at the form guide, and they are rock bottom Swansea for form away from home.
League as well.
And rock bottom of the league. So I'm predicting big things for Everton this weekend.
And kudos to Palace for coming back late on to beat Watford.
Real smash and grab, wasn't it? Yeah, real smash and grab.
Last minute, poor Richarlison goes off thinking that they're going to win the game, and then they lose it.
Yeah, got an assist in Richarlison before he went off, I think, early on.
That's
right. And then went off injured. So we'll talk about that and the potential impact on our transfer strategies going forward, because I want to see a bit of news on Richarlison before I transfer him out. But let's see.
And same with Burnley, a bit of a smash and grab at the end, 89th minute.
Yeah, but they keep churning them out, don't they? It's unbelievable.
Late minutes, and Barnes off the bench for Burnley this week. So
Pope, 11 points.
Again.
Oof.
Okay. Right, shall we get into game week 18 then, and we can kind of round up what was going on in 17 while we're talking about the game weeks in 18?
Go on then, you haven't even talked about Spurs 2, Brighton 0. We've got to be happy with that. Sonny again on the...
Oh, sorry, I thought that was a given that I was happy with that. Sonny, Sonny.
Nice header as well, do you see it?
And nice Aurier clearly meant that.
Aurier's was... it was absolutely shocking, wasn't it? What was the other one this season? Oh, Willian against us. Oh, and it's just a cross and it's gone in. Aurier's was even worse, I thought. But anyway, 2-0, you take that, absolutely.
Take it, absolutely, yeah. Okay, game week 18 then. How are we at the game week 18 already?
Go on then, game week 18. Let's have a look at that.
All right, well, let's start with the big game, shall we? The Saturday evening game.
Spurs
Man
City
and Spurs.
Go on then. Fancy your chances? What do you think? I mean, you're going to.
Look, I'm a Spurs fan. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't fancy my chances, because that's, I'm not one of those people. I'll always fancy us.
15 wins in a row for City.
I fancy us more away from home. I'm more confident that it's at City, strangely, than I would be if it was at Wembley.
Okay, all right,
I think that Man City are. Let's not be ridiculous about this. They are a fantastic team. Going forward, they are unbelievable. I take some comfort from the fact that Davis and Trippier had a rest this midweek game week.
Yeah, okay.
So at least the defence should be solid. I hope. I also take comfort from the fact that Man City, they do make mistakes defensively, and
can do.
They do concede goals. They're not winning all of these games. They won the last game without conceding, but then often Otamendi doesn't get me a clean sheet.
FPL players in this game. What are you thinking about Mr. Kane? You're a big fan of captaining Kane most game weeks. I assume that you won't be armbanding him this week, or what are you thinking? Against City, you're thinking about it, aren't you? You're thinking about. I can see it. Got to be better options.
Well, I'll talk to you when I get to my transfers about what I'm thinking about doing, because I think it really depends on what happens. What's said about Morata tomorrow will decide who I captain.
Right, okay.
Because if there's a chance that Morata is going to play, then I will probably risk leaving him on my team.
Okay. Radar picks for that game. Any particular players you want to pick out?
Well, there's a couple that I want to pick out from Spurs. Now, I'm talking about playing against the best team in the league. So whether you'd want to take a risk on a Spurs player in that game, I don't know. But I think Sonny has to stay on the radar. He's
on a real hot streak of form, isn't he, Son, at the moment? And what's his value? He's got to be a sort of high sevens, I think. Maybe even touching 8 now.
I think he's
maybe
8 now, because he went up in value.
If you're looking for a Richarlison replacement, maybe
you've still got to find a bit of money.
You've got to find a bit of money. Yeah,
Richarlison 6.6, but I certainly think Sonny's got to be up there in the radar. You've got to be thinking about him. I also want to put Lamella on the radar this week. He looked really good.
Lamella?
Looked really promising last night. Really good movement.
Get assist or any FPL points?
No, he didn't. But
underlying BPS look okay?
Yeah, it just looks good reading of the ball. Really good relationship with Kane. They should have had some goals between them two last night.
And City?
Well, City, really, it's Silva, isn't it, I think, at the moment for City.
I think it's always hard to put any City players on the radar, because it's although in the last vlog we were talking about the Pep Lottery myth, it's still hard to put any on there. I think Silva looks to be, if you've got no City players right now...
Which I doubt that anybody's in that position.
I guess most people have got maybe 1 or even 2. A lot of people seem to have Otamendi, right? But if you're going to select one, Silva looks like a pretty safe...
And quite cheap option as well for City as well, in terms of the midfield area.
Outside of Sterling, he's the cheapest, isn't he? Because Sané and obviously KDB are quite a bit more expensive. Yeah. On a really good bit of form at the minute. The heat maps look good. He's getting in goal scoring positions as well as, that he has assists that he'll just naturally tick over because of what he does.
Pep said something about him being frightening or something, didn't he? I can't remember what
he obviously rates him.
Yeah.
Doesn't rest in that often.
No.
He seems like the obvious pick. I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you.
But I also think, you've mentioned Otamendi, and I still think that Otamendi is a great fantasy asset. it. So if you're missing a City defender, again, would you want one playing against Kane and co? I don't know. But Otamendi's the sort of defender that, you know, even if he doesn't keep you a clean sheet, could easily go and get you a goal. So
he's got a goal threat about him, isn't he?
Absolutely. So I think, you know, he's one to watch at City as well. But I mean, I just think that that's going to be a really interesting game to watch. My heart says that we take something from them. Every part of my head goes, stop being a ridiculous Spurs fan and take your goggles off. They'll thrash you. I don't think they'll thrash us, but I think they'll probably will beat us.
Okay, all right.
Okay, let's move on then. Let's go to the lunchtime game on Saturday, because that's Leicester, who are on good form at the moment. So
against Palace.
Now, there's a lot of players on the radar for both sides in this game, I think.
Radar for? I mean, Palace are poor away from home, right? And Leicester are on reasonable form right now.
So I think let's start with Leicester. So Maguire stays on the radar this week because I think he's looking really threatening.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I know they didn't keep a clean sheet last night, but he did get an assist in that game, so it counteracts in terms of points scored. Obviously, there's Mahrez, who, again, he's in the sunny Silva camp at the moment, just ticking over the points nicely for you every week if you own him.
Yeah, he is, but I think that you should expect that. He's 8.5, so you want him ticking over points. It's not like he's a Richarlison or a Gross, and, you know, if he gets you the odd goal and some ticking over assists, you're kind of happy. He's got to be ticking over assists, and he's got to be scoring goals, and he is right now. He's on really good form, but he's the sort of guy that if you get him in, as soon as he shows a bit of getting out of form, you get rid quickly, right? But no, I'm with you right now. He looks very, very good. And that fixture at home to Palace, when Palace are pretty bad away from home. I know they just had a good result at home, but away they don't look great. I'd back Leicester all day long in that game.
Yeah, me too. And then again, there's Okazaki. Now, I don't know with Okazaki, because is he going to start? I mean, I think he's a bit of a rotation risk. However,
100%, 100% rotation risk. But he seems to get stuff when he plays, though. Even if that's coming off from the bench, he's involved, right?
He seems to be one of those subs who will score you points even if he doesn't start the game. So it goes back to that conversation that we have about City, and we started to have about Liverpool, I suppose, over the last couple of weeks. Is, you know, are you happy to have a player that potentially is going to come off the bench? He's not going to spend 90 minutes on the pitch, but then if he comes on for half an hour and still gets you a goal.
Yeah, I think so. And the other thing, I guess, is that, you know, you go back a few weeks, we were thinking, well, you can't get Okazaki because he's going to have one of those coveted front three spots. I think it's far less that's the case now, right? We're talking about, you know, who can we have up front? You know, you're probably going to have Morata, although he's injured, so maybe not. If you've got the money, you have Kane. Some people starting to lean back towards Lukaku because he got the goal the other night. A lot of people thinking Calvert-Lewin, but there's not really, you know, three must-haves up there, or a plethora of choices. So, you know, Okazaki, if you're looking for a bit of a punt, Leicester at home to Palace is not a bad fixture to have a bit of a punt on somebody like Okazaki potentially. So.
No, and I agree with you. In terms of Palace, though, because in my head, I'm constantly on the who's going to replace Elliott for me as my second keeper.
Okay.
So Speroni I would like to put on the radar simply because he's cheap and he seems to be playing a game.
But they will not keep a clean sheet away.
No,
Leicester.
I'm not saying that they will, but I think he's, for me, that's one of my big issues coming up transfer-wise is, you know, and it's a lot of people's big issue. Let's
have a look at Palace's fixtures. Leicester away, Swansea. So 2 away games for a side that are very bad away from home.
But Swansea don't score goals.
Yeah, but...
No, Swansea don't score goals.
Okay, all right. Well, Swansea's home form is not great either. I get that. So, all right. So there's one fixture in there potentially. Then it's Arsenal at home, City at home, and then it's Southampton away. I'm not even thinking about investing in a Sacco or a Speroni or a Dan or anybody like that with those fixtures.
Because Sacco's got the potential to pop up with a goal.
Has he?
Yeah.
He's got a couple recently, I get that, but he's not. I wouldn't call him prolific. I mean,
I didn't say he was prolific. I just said he's got potential to pop up with a goal. You've got to look at. It's getting to that stage of the season, isn't it, where you're looking, or I'm looking in terms of a keeper. I'm looking for a cheap option, probably, who can replace Elliott, but it's going to play because I don't want just.
He's a rotation risk with Hennessy as well, though, right?
But that's why I'm putting him on the radar because I want to watch and wait and see what happens with him. So he's going on the radar.
That's a terrible player to put on the radar, but all right, we'll put him on. We'll put him on the radar. Not my radar.
Whose name's on the radar? Thank you. Okay, let's move on then. While we're talking about defenders, let's talk about Burnley and Ben Mee. Now, is Ben Mee going to play against Brighton this week?
I think he is. So I think Dyche has come out and said that, and they've got a little bit of a crisis going on at the back at the minute, Burnley. Not that that's reflected in their results, but Ward is injured the other night, and obviously the Ben Mee thing. But I think Ben Mee is coming back in.
Because it's quite frankly irritating me a lot.
That was annoying, wasn't it?
Very annoying.
Burnley, another clean sheet, and your player's not there. Really annoying, yeah. Really annoying.
Really frustrating. So, and I'm looking at that game against Brighton and thinking, I want a Burnley defender.
I think he's ready. I think he's come out and said he's ready. So keep Ben Mee. Yeah, keep Ben Mee.
Obviously,
double up.
Well,
Pope is looking. You're talking about cheap keepers and Speroni being a terrible shout, but Pope is not a bad shout. I don't.
Well, I'll talk about my transfers later, but Pope is another one that I've been considering. My concern with Burnley moving forward is, they've had this quite nice run of fixtures. What happens to them? When they play the likes of Chelsea and co.
So I think you made a valid point there, because looking at my ticker, they've got Brighton away, obviously, and then it's Spurs at home, United away, Huddersfield away, Liverpool. So Spurs, United, Liverpool,
do I want
three of the next
Burnley
five.
For that?
Do you want double Burnley for that? Yeah, I think you're right to call that out.
This is where absolutely, I'm sorry, Brighton fans, but I don't see Brighton winning that game. I see Burnley winning that game. I see Burnley keeping a clean sheet in that game.
Away at Brighton?
Yeah, because Brighton they're not on good form at the moment.
Mr. Mounier he got a couple of goals a week or so ago, didn't he? But that Burnley back line, especially the goalkeeper. I mean, Pope is an absolute phenomenon. Brilliant goalkeeper for a second goalkeeper.
3 bonus points again last night.
Fantastic value, right? So it's going to be tough to break down that Burnley back line again, I think. Yeah,
I agree.
Spot on.
So, but yeah, that's my concern. So yes, absolutely with Pope. However, do you want to double up? If I'm on Ben Mee and he's coming back, I'm not sure. Okay, where should we go next? Let's keep going. Chelsea then. I think.
What's the Chelsea game?
Southampton.
Yeah, okay. Saints are really hot and cold, aren't they? But when they're cold, they're really cold. They're quite bad, aren't they? The Saints. Going to Chelsea is a really tough fixture for them.
I think so.
You don't want to be playing that in a minute. I don't think.
Off the back of being quite badly punished by Leicester last night.
Be interesting to see how they react, because they need a reaction in that game, don't they? They need to be able to go to Chelsea and not get smashed.
But I can't.
And we'll come to captain picks later on. And I really fancy Hazard. I know he's blanked last couple, but he's looked okay. I mean, let's see what the Morata news is.
He got man of the match, didn't he?
He did, without getting any FPL points. Was man of the match.
One of those annoying ones.
So a bit annoying, but it looked good, and the underlying BPS looked good. So against a pretty out of shape Saints team, and let's have a look at their away form. So no win in 5. Last one away from home some time ago. 6 games ago or something. So their away form is pretty bad.
I don't see anything other than a Chelsea victory. I will definitely be playing Alonso, because that boy owes me a clean sheet, and I think it will come against Southampton.
And he looked very attacking actually the other night.
He did.
And I think he got an assist, but was unlucky not to get 2 assists, wasn't he?
Yeah, yes he was, and obviously conceded very, very late on, which was annoying, because otherwise he would have been on for a nice score.
Oh, I'll tell you what, that was. I mean, I was in the fortunate position of not having either a Chelsea or a Watford defender.
You were probably loving it.
Well, no, I actually felt for a lot of the community, because there's a lot of people out there with like a Cabaselli or a Watford defender, and then obviously an Alonso or an Azpilicueta. Those with Christensen dodged one because he'd gone off,
didn't they?
But if you've got one of those Chelsea defenders, it's just like, oh wow, there was like a 3-minute period where they both conceded out of nowhere, and no one cared in real, the actual. Chelsea team are a bit like, oh, that's unlucky, and the Watford got unlucky. But
do they not know this?
The FPL community was absolutely fuming about that 3 minutes. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah, not good.
So I think from that game, from my point of view, my concern is obviously I've got Morata at the moment. Is Morata going to play? Because if he's not, I don't want that level of money and investment just sat on my bench wasting away.
Okay, we'll talk about him in the transfers later on, because we've got to wait for some news, I think, on him. Yeah,
because the frustrating thing is that I've only got 1 transfer to make this week without spending points. But if I take Morata out, that only leaves me with Alonso, and then I'd quite like another Chelsea player to cover that game, because I think Chelsea will win that comfortably.
And if you were going to choose somebody, who would you choose?
Well, I'd want Hazard, and that's the problem.
What about Fabregas?
Maybe.
Fabregas. I mean, if you go Willian, Pedro, those sorts of guys, you risk them not starting, I suppose. Although when they come on, they do seem to, when they play, they seem to get points. Fabregas looks, I'm not going to say nailed on because you're never quite sure with Fabregas, but he does seem to like him in there, and he's a bit of a creative force. So if you wanted a cheaper Hazard, if you like, then maybe Fabregas, but clearly it's less of an explosive points option. But okay, so home win for Chelsea. I think you're right.
Okay, let's stay. Well, I was going to say let's stay in London, but actually let's go to Stoke and talk about West Ham. So West Ham, I think, are looking much better at the moment. They're coming out of 2 really positive results against Chelsea and Arsenal. Moyes seems to have made a big difference there. I think it's just stability and a sorting out of their defence, really.
Yeah, sure.
That's made a big difference. Lanzini's one to definitely stay on the radar. He's looking really, really strong when he's playing. I mean, watch the game.
He's very creative, isn't he?
Yeah,
very creative.
And the BPS stuff, like we've been talking about, that's looking really positive. I think if West Ham score goals, Lanzini's going to be in there or thereabouts, assisting them. You know, he's going to be doing. He'd be getting points out of it. Stoke. They're not on the best run at the moment, so I think West Ham could get something out of that game.
I think it's it'd be an interesting game to watch because West Ham, although they've had a couple of good results recently, their away form generally is really bad.
It's poor,
so they've not won in 6 games, I don't think. So their away form is pretty bad. Stoke is not an easy place to go either, and they've got a couple of players that can on their day turn it on, like Shaqiri and people like that. So I'm actually going to go for a home win there. I think Stoke will win that game.
Interesting.
I wonder whether it'd be interesting to see whether West Ham can offer very much going forward. I think they'll want to be resolute and not lose the game. And I've got eyes on Ogbonna and I've got eyes on Masuoku as well because I think they're good options for the next 3 for West Ham look pretty good. Then there's the blank, clearly, and then there's a double game week. And I'm thinking about, who do I want in for that double game week from a West Ham perspective? I've got to be a bit careful with that, because yes, they've got a nice home game to West Brom.
So they have got to play us.
But going Spurs away, not expecting too many fireworks there. So you're going to want to load up on those guys, given that there's a blank and then a game at Spurs. I'm not sure, but definitely eyes on Masuoku because he definitely looks the more attacking of the West Ham defenders. Ogbonna as well looks an all right option. Lanzini I like, and potentially Chicharito as well. But the challenge we've got here is that they've got the Stoke game away. Newcastle at home looks all right. Bournemouth away, that's tricky given their away form. So I'm not loading up on West Ham, but what you're saying is right. They are hitting a little bit more of a form. Stoke, watching brief. Let's have a look at the fixtures. West Ham at home, West Brom at home, Huddersfield away, Chelsea away, Newcastle home. Outside of that Chelsea game, that's looking reasonably strong for Stoke over the next 5. So, if you're looking for maybe a Richarlison replacement, is Shaqiri an option? Outside of that, I mean, Choupo-Moting I think was on the bench for the last game, so he's kind of maybe managing his game time a little bit.
It's the risk at the moment. It's that time of the season, isn't it?
Not sort of gagging to get on Stoke assets per se. So that's an interesting game to watch. But I'm back in Stoke to get that, given West Ham's really bad away form.
Okay, well, we'll keep the London teams then. Let's talk about Arsenal. So Arsenal got to play Newcastle, which I think.
Speaking of out of form away teams, right?
Yeah. And Wenger was quite unhappy in his press conference yesterday. I think he felt very much that they should have got something more than they did out of that game. Sure. And actually, I, to be fair, I do agree with him. Although they, like we've talked about already, they could have lost it in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Now,
FPL players for that game on the radar?
So with Ramsey injured and Sanchez looking really out of sorts last night, I think if I was going to go Arsenal in any way, it would, I suppose, potentially Ozil or probably Lacazette.
Lacazette, he just keeps not delivering. Lacazette, I mean,
he does
for his money in FPL. I mean, I'm really not sure I want to go there.
Well, I don't know. I just think that that game against Newcastle are very poor away from home. Arsenal should win that game comfortably. Who are the fancy points going to come from?
What did you think of Jack Wilshere's performance the other night? So no FPL points against
Looks
West Ham,
solid.
but I thought he had a pretty good game actually, and I think Wenger singled him out for a bit of praise after the game.
He did
I think the challenge with Wilshere always is that, you know, if he's going to start 2 games in a week, is he going to, you know, tweak a hamstring or break an ankle or say he's so injury prone, this guy? Maybe Wenger wants to just manage him a little bit. But for me, that would potentially be one on the radar. Maybe until Ramsey comes back from his hamstring, Wilshere adds a bit of something in there in the same way that Ramsey does in terms of creativity and a bit of forward drive. So I get a feeling Wilshere will get some game time, at least while Ramsey is out.
Okay.
And like we said, like you quite rightly saying, Newcastle away from home. I'm not touching any Newcastle players at all right now. They look woeful. We've said it before. The club seems to be going through some difficult times behind the scenes.
Up there, isn't it, at the moment?
They just can't string a result together. So not expecting them to get anything at Arsenal at all. This is the Premier League, so it'll be 1-0 Newcastle. I'm absolutely sure of it. But no, Arsenal to win that game. I know you said Sanchez, and yes, you know, I don't think we've seen much from him recently. But if you're looking for a bit of a, you know, cheeky differential there, maybe even a differential captain,
he's so expensive.
He is. I understand that.
As a cheeky differential,
Yeah.
and that's the issue with him. Is that, you know, I watched the game last night. He was poor.
Yeah, okay.
He was wasteful. Okay. He was poor.
I think it's a bit of
too much money.
It's a bit of a wild shout of me to say captain.
Lacazette, bit of a cheaper option maybe.
Cool, not that much. He's 10.5, isn't he?
Well, yeah, but cheaper option than Sanchez. I don't know. I just think that Sanchez
wouldn't armband him though, would you, Lacazette?
No, I wouldn't armband. If I can actually get my words out. Any Arsenal players at the moment, but you know,
ever Arsenal players.
I didn't say ever. Just at the moment, I wouldn't. Ozil maybe, Wilshere maybe, but then is he going to play? I don't know.
All right, move on. Next game.
Watford versus Huddersfield. Now, for me, this is all about Richarlison. Is Richarlison fit? That is the key question about this game.
I don't think we know.
No, we don't know.
I don't think we know. We've got to kind of hear some news. We've got to hear from Silva on that as to what's going on. I don't think I'm going to transfer him out unless the news comes back and he's, you know, has got a long-term injury. Then, you know, potentially.
It didn't look like a long-term injury when he went off.
No, it didn't. It
looked like a niggle.
But he's the sort of player. You know, it's sad to say it, but he's the sort of player that was kind of asking a bit for an injury because he coming into his first, you know, winter in the Premier League, and the winter in the Premier League is really tough on players. You know, it's game after game after game, and if you don't manage your players, you know, they will get burnt out, and when players get tired, they get injured, right? So Richarlison, he's a 19-year-old kid, first winter in the Premier League. He's the sort of player that would get an injury. That he's so quick, he bombs about, and he's running. Right. He's not one of those players that just churns. You know, he's kind of a slogger. He's just quick, in and out, in and out, in and out. So that effect on his legs and his muscles is obviously quite intense. I wasn't surprised when he got injured. No. I wasn't surprised. What I obviously want to hear from Silva is how long is he out? Because if he's out for a long time, you're going to want to get him out. If not, I want to keep him. I don't think he's going to play at the weekend.
Well, I stand to lose 0.2 on him. So I'd get him out as long as he was going to be gotten out by a lot of people, because then, you know, value and what have you. Because I do really like having Richarlison in my team, and I would like him back. So I think he's a watching brief. Obviously, cleverly with a red card in the last game, so he's not going to play. So that's going to affect some players.
Ziegler's not back. No, he's only served one game, isn't he? Yeah, so he's out still for a bit.
He's still out. So it's a bit up in the air at Watford at the moment. Having said all of that, Vicarage Road is a very, very difficult place to go. Huddersfield are going there in very poor form. So I do think Watford will win the game. I would like Watford coverage, so I'm really hoping that Richarlison will be in there. Yeah,
and again, we're talking about teams that are really bad away from home.
I've got Caballassi, of course. So I've got.
Yeah, well, I think you absolutely play him this week. And again,
Cabaselli.
Sorry,
not Caballassi. I keep calling him. I don't know why.
We're talking about teams that are bad away from home. Huddersfield again, no win in 6. So I foresee a lot of home wins this weekend. We keep talking about all these teams that are bad away from home. Watford are not amazing. I know you're saying Vicarage Road is a hard place to go. I think it is, but I think let's have a look. 2 wins in 6.
But they've played some hard sides in the last.
Yeah, they have, and they'll have too much for Huddersfield. I think with or without Richarlison, I think they'll have too much. It'd be interesting to see how Deeney gets on. I think he's one for the radar. Really low TSB, so he's very low ownership in the FPL game. I think he's had a couple of starts recently. Andre Gray, I like the look of when he plays, but he's not consistently getting minutes. Whereas Deeney, I think, has started the last 2 and played most of the games. He's on pens, I think, if he gets pens.
Okay.
So he at home to Huddersfield. Not suggesting you're going to captain him at all, but on the radar, if you want somebody as a bit of a differential up top, maybe Deeney's the one to look at.
Okay. Right, so then into Sunday, West Brom versus Man United is the first game.
Okay.
On Sunday. Obviously, lovely to have Jones back.
Yes, it is very much so.
That pleased me last night. So I'll be playing him again on Sunday. Particularly because he's a bonus point magnet. That boy, he's just
2 bonus points, right?
2 bonus points. De Gea got the 3.
De Gea is such a good goalkeeper. It's unbelievable, isn't he?
So there is definitely scope for a Jones De Gea double up. Apart from that, De Gea is expensive in comparison to my cheap old
right.
keepers, but there's definitely potential there if you haven't got De Gea as a decent option, because Man United games coming up are nice.
Fixtures look good actually. West Brom away, Leicester away, Burnley at home, Southampton at home, Everton away. That's looking pretty good.
So there's potential in there for clean sheets. So there's potential for the double up. Let's talk about Lukaku as a fantasy asset then, because not done anything for weeks, but did score a goal last night.
He's got a bit of a reputation in Lukaku for being a bit of a flat track bully. And what I mean by that is that he plays really well against the so-called smaller, lesser teams.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to perform against the big guys. And we said this on the last vlog, his record this season, or recently, if you like, against the bigger teams is not good. I think 1 assist in like 6 games against what you would consider to be United's main rivals for the title, like Spurs, Liverpool, City, etc. They played... Who they played the other night where they won 1-0? I'll look back through your notes.
Bournemouth.
So Bournemouth at Old Trafford pops up with the goal, right? And now here we go. We're looking at their fixtures: West Brom, Leicester, Burnley, Southampton, Everton. These are, with the exception of maybe Everton away, but that's an interesting game from his perspective because he's going back to his old hunting ground. You're right. That's kind of Lukaku-y, if that's the phrase. They're kind of Lukaku-y fixtures, aren't they? You're right. No, not even a hint of form recently, except against the Bournemouth game where he got the goal. I didn't watch the game, but I don't know how he performed in general, but it doesn't sound like his underlying BPS were that good if De Gea and Jones are getting the 3 and the 2. So, what do you think? Do you think Lukaku's an option? Or we've got to wait until Pogba's back?
Right, so for me, Lukaku's not an option, and I'm not interested in getting Lukaku. Okay. Even if Morata is injured longer term, I'm not getting Lukaku. I'll tell you who I'm going to get in a minute. But
if Morata's injured, you've got somebody in mind.
Injured,
okay, interesting. All right.
I would be, however, saving quite a lot of money if I do that if Morata's injured. So then one of my key points for game week 19 would be to upgrade one of my cheapo midfielders to Pogba, because he'll be back from his ban.
Yeah, right, okay, yeah, and I think he'd be raring to go. And again, look at those Man United fixtures. From 19 onwards, it's still looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Again, we've said it many times before, changes the dynamic. I think he's down to 7-9 in the game as well. So that's looking pretty cheap for Pogba, in my opinion. I like the look of him when he comes back. Absolutely right. Yeah.
Okay. The other game on Sunday afternoon is Bournemouth versus Liverpool.
Oh, by the way, we can't talk about West Brom without talking about Neon versus Rondon. And given that they got a clean sheet against Liverpool, that's now 2-0.
Well, they're not going to get a clean sheet against Man United, I don't think. Rondon is going to score the winner in the 98th minute.
So it's now 2-0 to the boys who got the assist. It's not looking good for Team Rondon.
Well, I told you not to do this. You could have gone for an Okazaki one. Why did you not get involved in an Okazaki bet?
Well, their thing is Team Neon, right? Hashtag Team Neon. They're not hashtag Team Maguire, are they? It's a Neon. It's a West Brom thing.
Well, see if they want to get involved in one against Leicester as well.
So it's now 2-0 to the boys. So we need Rondon to start stepping up to the plate.
Okay, well, 89th minute against Man United, Rondon worldy.
You're dreaming. Move on.
Let's go to Bournemouth then. Liverpool. Now, surely, your boys aren't going to blank again for us.
Well, you say this every week as if it's like Liverpool are miraculously going to win every week, right? So
I don't think you're miraculously going to win every week, but you've got Salah. Well, I've got Salah and Firmino, so I need them to do something.
Yeah, but we've had blanks last 2 games. Right? I mean, the Everton game was ridiculous. Let's not go there again.
The only thing that was positive about your game for me was, obviously Salah and Firmino blanked, but Foster with his 10 points.
Yeah. But attacking wise, we didn't really look on it in the West Brom game.
They were very sloppy, weren't you, last night?
Yeah, there's something about it that wasn't quite right. I mean, the only
tired.
Well, he's the whole point of what we keep saying with these vlogs is he's rotating these players, so you shouldn't really be able to say that. The only player that got close to scoring a goal was Solanke, and it got ruled off for a handball, which was maybe a bit unlucky, but maybe it's my red goggles on. So I don't think you can say the Liverpool players are tired because he's rotating. So that he drops Firmino and Coutinho for the Everton game, and we drop points. So you're all right. So you go to the West Brom game with those players, and you're expecting them to perform and get the win, right? And Klopp's got to come under a bit of pressure for not having done that. So I'm not for a minute suggesting that Salah becomes less of an FPL option. He's absolutely nailed on Asensio, in my opinion. Is he captain material away at Bournemouth? Your opinion? What are you thinking? What's the Bournemouth home fixture?
Yes, I think he is. Would I? So if the choice was between Kane at City and Salah away at Bournemouth, I'd go Salah, I think, this game week.
Bournemouth home form, by the way, 2 wins in 6. So haven't won the last 2 at home. Liverpool away form, won the last 3 away games. So even though the last 2 games are not great, they were both at Anfield, which is surprising because it kind of goes against what's been happening in Liverpool this season. But 3 wins in our last 3 away games. So
and while we're talking about Liverpool, can we just have a quick word about your defence and in terms of fantasy players? Because I very nearly, as you know, got Joe Gomez for the last game week. In the end, I did Cabaselli, but I nearly did Gomez.
Okay.
Obviously, with your injuries at the back, Robertson more of a fancy asset.
I think so. I think Robertson plays now because of Moreno's injury, right? I think that's reasonably nailed on. On the other side, it's kind of Gomez and Trent Alexander-Arnold are going to rotate.
Right, okay.
And then in the middle, I think Matip is out for a bit. So you've got Clavan and you've got...
Lovren.
Goodness me. Oh, Lovren, yeah, of course. So yeah, there is a bit of... It's not settled.
Yeah.
It's definitely not settled. And even the goalkeeper, so Karius played last game. So even if you're on Mignolet... Why would you be doing that? But if you're on Mignolet, not even he's sure. So
in the end, I'm quite glad I didn't go for Gomez because now I'm starting to feel like there's a bit of a rotation, bit too much of a rotation risk at this time of the season when I need a bit of stability.
Yeah, Robertson is the one, I think, if you were going to go any. Difficult to call.
Okay, right. And then the final game of this game week, which is the one that I'm really interested in, is Everton versus Swansea. Now, bless Swansea, they are
interested in. Why are you interested? I think that's got home win written all over it. Go on.
Well, I'm interested in it from a down Wembley Way viewpoint.
Right. Okay.
So I'm watching a lot of players in this game. They're all from Everton, funnily enough. So I've been talking about Rooney for a couple of game weeks now. I think
you did say a couple of weeks ago, to be fair, and I wasn't sure about it, but
you only got to look. He's ticking over the points again, and for decent, he's only 7.4. So for a third striker, that's reasonable.
Morata to Rooney if he's injured. You're thinking that, aren't you? I can see that.
That is the transfer I'm going to do. So
if
if Conte says that Morata is injured, I'm going to do Morata to Rooney.
Nice, okay, I like that. It's a bit of a differential.
And I'll probably captain him.
God, really?
Swansea are dire. Swansea are diabolical.
They are bad. They are rock bottom at the minute. Clement is under all sorts of pressure.
They're rock bottom form. They're rock bottom.
Let's have a look at their away form.
They're just...
God, goodness me.
They're just terrible.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lost the last 5 away.
They're terrible.
Yeah,
and Everton are in a resurgence at the moment. They're looking really strong under...
Captain Rooney, I like that. That's ballsy.
So,
that's good differential territory.
So yeah, for me, and obviously that Morata down to Rooney, I got him at 10.6, Rooney 7.4. That's 3 million in the bank, which I can use to do Hazard, or more likely I could use to do Tom Carroll to Pogba. So it makes for a really interesting reading in the rest of my fantasy team. So that's potential. So he's one I'm watching. I'm also watching Aaron Lennon because I just think he's up there. He got the assist, didn't he?
Yeah. Did we have him as our Jammy pick last week?
No, we didn't. Jammy.
I'm sure we mentioned him as a potential Jammy pick. Nice to see him getting amongst the FPL points. Yeah, I assume you're going to keep him on the radar. I think he's definitely one that could get points in this game against Swansea.
Absolutely. Aaron Lennon on the radar, Rooney on the radar. Another one I'm thinking about is, when we're talking about my dodgy keeper selections, is to swap for Pickford.
I like that.
I'm really interested in that. So I'm really, really watching Everton closely at the moment. Having said a few weeks ago I wasn't interested in Everton, they are the team on my radar at the moment.
Yeah, okay. And I think we mentioned last week you were saying...
Kenny, obviously. But I'm not getting him because you've got him. But
I think last week you were saying, you're just keeping a watching brief. And I was saying, I'm acting because I was getting Kenny in, I've got Calvert-Lewin in.
Mine's an acting brief now.
Yeah, I think I'm very happy to have those players going into that Swansea game. They're Chelsea at home next, which that'd be an interesting one because you've got a kind of team in form probably with Everton against Chelsea, who they're on form as well, but it's suddenly a tough fixture for Chelsea. Then they've got West Brom and Bournemouth both away, and then United at home. So the fixtures are a bit of a mixed bag, but I don't think you'd want to be playing Everton right now. I think they are looking very, very good. And he seems to be getting more out of Rooney than Koeman or indeed Unsworth could get out of Rooney. So, yeah, I like those picks. Rooney captain would be make for very, very interesting. Is that the Monday night game, by the way?
Yeah, Monday night, yeah.
Oh, goodness me. So you could be going into that game with probably, knowing your run at the minute, a probably pretty good score, and then Rooney captain to come.
Because I've got a few injury problems, so we've got to see what's
All right, so that's the games. Let's talk about jammy picks for the weekend then. Who have you got your eye on?
So this week's jammy pick is going to be Aaron Lennon at Everton.
Have we had him before as a jammy pick?
No, we talked about him a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
When we didn't film, it was when we did a Periscope, and we didn't.
He can't be owned by that many, I wouldn't have thought.
No,
Lennon.
I think he's the lowest owned ever. So he's 0.1.
0.1% owned.
Yeah.
That is proper differential territory. I guess the only challenge is, does he start? Is he rotated? And I think we said this a couple of weeks ago. When you've got Everton in, that Chelsea home game, I don't think I'd want Lennon because I think they're going to just be solid and a good unit. Swansea at home, I think they're going to go out to attack, and I think he's going to start Lennon. And I think if he does that, then he becomes a good jammy pick. So I like that. That's good.
Yeah, it's only 5.4 million as well, so cheap option.
Good enabler potentially even. Yeah, okay.
So he's going to be my jammy pick for the week.
Okay. Also like Wilshere at Arsenal, we mentioned that.
Yeah.
I mean, again, is he going to play twice in a week?
It's the injury thing, isn't it?
I think if he plays, that Newcastle team, as we said before, pretty bad. So I can see goals for Arsenal. Could he be the kind of creator-in-chief? He also can't be that highly owned, I wouldn't have thought.
0.2.
0.2, okay. Also 5.4 by the looks of it. So
yeah, same price as Lennon.
Potentially Wilshere as a... No, I don't know if I want to put him as a jammy pick, but I'll go out there and say he's not a bad pick, at least for this week. Yeah. Anybody else?
Well,
you mentioned Deeney, didn't we?
Deeney at Watford,
yeah.
Maybe as an option.
Okay. Few there, but you're going Lennon.
I'm going Lennon this week. Yeah.
Lennon,
what about your top points pick?
Yes, the top points pick is tricky, isn't it? Because you've got Spurs and City.
Because the big players are playing each other, really.
Yeah, I think so. Let's just have a quick look down this fixture list then, and who's. So I'll tell you what, I do fancy Everton at home to Swansea. I do fancy Watford at home to Huddersfield. It's tricky to pick who outside of Rooney potentially, but it's difficult to pick a Watford asset. I think you have to go for Arsenal at home to Newcastle. That seems like the obvious pick,
But who?
But then you go Sanchez because he's not really massively on form. Özil could be hit and miss. I think I'm gonna go Özil. I'm gonna go Özil, and the reason I'm gonna go Özil is because I think they will find that game pretty straightforward to beat Newcastle. And when they are ticking over, and when they're scoring goals, and when they're playing well, Özil suddenly shows up. And he'll get, an assist or a goal, whatever. So it's a bit of an out there one.
We're going out there this week.
The other thing is, West Brom, at home to United. Lukaku, we've said about. Liverpool potentially against Salah's always a good option. But no, let's go Özil on the basis that I think that's an easy game. They'll get goals, and when they're doing well and they're going and they hit a bit of form against the side at home, Özil tends to turn up. So let's go there.
Okay, quick word on transfers then. So if Morata is injured, I'll be doing Morata to Rooney. If Morata is going to play, then I've got other injuries. I need to then just work out, is Richarlison injured? If he is, how long?
We need news, don't we?
We do really need some news.
Yeah.
If Richarlison is injured, I might do longer term, might do Richarlison to Lanzini.
Okay.
If both of them are going to play, then I might deal with the Elliott thing, and then it will be Elliott to either probably Pickford.
don't fancy saving a transfer and just
maybe,
keeping it, banking
but
it.
at the moment I've got 3. Well, I think Ben Mee's going to play, so that reduces it. But obviously, if Richarlison and Morata both don't play, I probably need to act on one of them.
Sure, okay. I think I'm in the same boat as you. I still want Morata long term for these fixtures that they've got. So as long as he doesn't come out and say he's injured for a number of weeks, then I think I'll sit on him. Same with Richarlison. I do want him. I think he's good value. So
but can you risk having both of them injured? That's my issue, because it only means that somebody else gets rotated in one of your other games, and suddenly you've not got 11 players.
Because I'm looking at Mbembo. He's not going to play, is he? Probably not. And even if he does, he's not getting anything. So him, Richarlison, and Morata are all out of my squad, if you like. Suddenly I'm relying on everybody to play. You're quite right.
And then that's what worries me. So it's a watching brief for tomorrow. I'll update you on Instagram as to what I actually decide to do.
We need news, don't we? We need news, yeah.
Captain choices then for this week. Again, it's going to be based on my transfers, really. I think if Morata is going to play, I will probably captain him.
Okay.
Against Southampton, I would be confident in a Morata goal there. If Morata is long-term injured, then I'll swap him out for Rooney, and then I'll captain Rooney. Or I'll just play it really, really safe and captain Salah, but my heart really wants to captain Kane.
Well, I'm going Hazard. I think Chelsea will do well against that Southampton team. Southampton look really out sorts at the minute, and they've just been spanked at Leicester. It's not going to get any easier for them going to Stamford Bridge, so I'm captaining Hazard. I put a tweet out there earlier saying if anybody's got any questions they want to ask us, we can talk about them at the end of the vlog.
Oh gosh,
I think we've actually covered.
You've not prepped me on that.
This is just a new feature out of nowhere.
The notes are
and actually, we're already on 50 minutes, so let's not cover this in too much detail. Let's pick 1 or 2 questions. One of the guys that watches the vlog is a guy called Richard Nyquist. He was asked the question about he's ended up with triple Liverpool: Coutinho, Salah, and Firmino, which clearly he's not very happy about given the West Brom game. So, what to do with them going forward? So let's have a look at Liverpool's.
If that was me, I would keep Coutinho and Salah, and I'd swap Firmino for probably Rooney.
Okay, so Bournemouth away, Arsenal away, Swansea home, Leicester home, Burnley home. Fixtures don't look too bad, but I think you're right. I don't know if you want to go all in and triple.
No, I don't.
I think you 100% keep Salah. That's no question.
Coutinho's he's so
Is he a rotation risk though?
Yeah, but so's Firmino.
Yeah, true.
The pair of them are. So you just got to pick one and hope for the best.
So do you think it's keep Salah and Coutinho and then drop Firmino for someone who's far less of a risk, like Rooney potentially?
Somebody along those lines that's going to play game.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Let's have one more question. Time for what's your view on a Burnley double up from FPL Guru?
We sort of talked about that, but I think in terms of the defence, do you think?
I think that's what he's talking about, because Burnley aren't too much to shout about going forward, are they? But
no. If you'd have asked us that 4 games ago, I'd have said yes. Now, looking at fixtures moving forward, I'm wary of it. That's why I don't think I'm going to do Elliot's Pope.
Yeah, I think if you're on a Burnley double up, keep it for Brighton. But then Spurs, United and Liverpool are 3 of their fixtures in the next 4. I don't know if you want to double up there. I think you'd keep one, so you've got the clean sheet covered, because most people have got a Burnley defender somewhere. But doubling up, no, not for me.
Me neither.
Not for me. Cool, all right. I think that's probably it for now. So what's the Jammy pick? Lennon?
Yeah, and obviously when we come back to you next time, we'll be filming on Sunday, so Lennon won't have played, so we won't be able to update our Jammy pick. Yeah,
and potentially your Rooney captain might not have played. That would be tricky to talk about, won't it? Then? So, but you're going Jammy pick Lennon, captain. You're going to wait and see, but you're kind of wavering potentially towards Morata if he plays. If not, Rooney could be a transfer. Top points pick. I'm going out there a bit. I'm going Ozil. I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm making some ridiculous decisions. Even when I made the KDB thing, as soon as I hit go on it, I was a bit like, why haven't I done Silva there? Why have I not done Silva? So I don't know. I don't know if it's my rank this year is a bit rank compared to where I have been in previous seasons. So I'm kind of just having a bit of fun with it now. Right. And I just think maybe, KDB, it was just like it's a bit of a differential. So
you just didn't want any more abuse for
quite right. And I couldn't deal with the abuse on Twitter, so I was like, I don't want to go Silva.
Who are you going to captain then?
Hazard captain.
Okay.
And yeah, top points pick Ozil. for some reason.
I'm really excited about this game.
It's going to be good.
Really good.
They're coming thick and fast. I don't know when. So we've got games at the weekend. I assume there's then a bit of a rest. Is there? There's a week's break until the following ones.
Everyone's playing on the day before Christmas Eve, aren't they? And then they get an rest until Boxing Day. So it's
what's that, like a Sunday?
No, Saturday.
So the day before
busy
Christmas
day,
Eve. Yeah, okay.
On that Saturday. So yeah, we get a bit of thinking time between Monday night's game finishing and Saturday.
A little bit of respite. And we'll try and keep the videos coming. We'll try and keep them coming as best we can.
We'll be filming on Boxing Day, I think, at this rate.
It's going to be tricky, that, isn't it? It's going to be tricky. But we'll do a video whenever we can. But obviously, keep following us at FPL Family on Twitter, at FPL Family on Instagram. So constant updates on there.
Followers on
you're
Instagram
nice.
now. It's growing.
Nice. Okay, cool. And I think we're at about 2,200, something like that on Twitter, which is awesome.
Wow.
And we're at well over 500 subscribers now on the channel, which is awesome.
And on our videos have all of a sudden taken a big jump in viewing.
Yeah, thank you guys for that. So the last few videos have been over a K, I think 1.4K, which is like really good, right?
Amazing,
really good. So thank you for that. Again, keep sharing, keep liking us. Put your comments below. Let us know top points picks, Jammy picks, especially on that top points pick. I think it's a hard one this game week. Ozil is like, I don't know what I'm thinking there, to be honest. Out at Christmas do at lunch and had a few glasses of wine. So Ozil top points pick, given I've had a few glasses of wine today. Len and Jammy pick I like. So give us your thoughts on that, guys, below. Like I say, keep following us, keep liking us, keep sharing us. Thank you for your support, as always, and we will see you on Sunday night, right? When we talk about we do a reaction to Game Week 18.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Good night from me.
guys. Bye.
Cheers, guys.